What's up, everybody? It's Dylan here with diwoodoesthings. Thanks for tuning back into my channel. Today I am in North Conway, New Hampshire at the Gear Dock, aka savagegear, also known as the man, the myth, the legend, Rich Page. Today we're talking about mountain equipment, which is readily available and in stock right here in North Conway, New Hampshire at the Gear Dock. And I want to talk to you a little bit about why it's some of the best gear for alpinists and mountaineers. Right now I'm wearing the Switch Pro Active Insulation Mid-Layer. Features an awesome Octa yarn fabric on the inside. This is a put on, leave on all day layer. And I'm also wearing the G2 Mountain Pant, which is one of the most comfortable bib / suspender style alpine pants that I've ever worn. This is just kind of the foundation of the mountain equipment kit that you can get here. And we'll get into some other pieces a little bit later on. But right now, behind me, I have an entire fleet of alpine and mountaineering parkas. And you all know I love parkas, so we're gonna get into these, starting with the Paiyu. A lot of you might know this jacket as the Mountain Equipment Trango. They have since changed the name, but kept all of the amazing features and characteristics of this jacket. This has been one of my favorite jackets to wear as either a belay jacket or a camp jacket, and there's a few reasons why. So the Mountain Equipment Paiyu, formerly known as the Mountain Equipment Trango Parka, which was featured in my belay parka comparison video, you can see the link below, is far and away one of the best value parkas you can get. It is incredibly durable, supremely packable, and comes in at a price point that's really hard to beat for what you get in terms of warmth, durability, packability, and overall protection in frigid conditions. So the big thing about the Mountain Equipment Paiyu is the baffle construction. It's not your typical H-style baffle that has fabric sewn in between the baffles. This features an offset baffle design that enables a stronger, more durable construction while eliminating any cold spots throughout the garment. And now the way it's constructed is it's almost kind of like corrugated cardboard fabric, where you have your outer face fabric and your inner liner fabric, and in between that is another layer of fabric that is interwoven between the face fabric and the liner fabric, creating an offset baffle construction. And that really is, it prevents down migration, which can lead to cold spots. And that's very prevalent in many, many other parkas. You know, Arc'teryx, when they were making the Firebee AR, that was a big problem in the arms. The Mountain Equipment Paiyu avoids all of that with the baffle construction and creates a bit of an enigma when it comes to the warmth factor that you get for the weight of this parka. So the Paiyu is filled with 269 grams of 700 fill power down. Now, some people hear 700 fill power and they think, oh, that's not ultralight, that's not very packable. But I can tell you right now, and I've used this parka, it is supremely packable. A lot of in the UK and Europe, the down standard in how they measure it is a little bit different than here in the US with US brands, and so there is a little bit of fluctuation, and it's kind of apples and oranges in a way. But what I can tell you right now is this is a very, very packable, warm parka with a lot of loft. That 700 fill power down enables it to be at a much more accessible price point. And so, who is this parka for? This is for those who want supreme durability, supreme warmth at a very reasonable price. This parka clocks in at $350. So, you know, what you're getting is a full expedition level garment, for the price of what a lot of sweater weight down jackets are going for these days. It has a 40 denier face fabric, extremely durable, blocks the wind really, really well. They call it their dry light construction, which really helps protect the down, which is part of their down codex, which actually predates responsible down standard certification. And so Mountain Equipment has been doing the socially responsible, smart, ethical thing longer than most brands have. So that's another thing that makes me feel really good about mountain equipment. So talking about the features of this jacket a little bit, and I'm not going to go into too much detail. If you want to see more detail on the features of the Paiyu, go ahead and check out my belay parka comparison video below, where I really go into the depth and details about this jacket, formerly known as the Trango. But just right off the bat, you know, just high level, it has two very sizable hand warmer pockets, great for wearing gloves with and storing, you know, storing gloves. It has two Napoleon style pockets. Now these are not insulated on the outside, but you know, these are going to be great for keeping things like a small tool or a headlamp or something like that, or a map, while being able to access that without losing any warmth out of the jacket. So I think that's a smart, thoughtful feature. The hood is quite sizable. It's an expedition parka, so it's built to go over a helmet. The Mountain HC hood is fully adjustable. You have two external draw cords right here that you're able to access with or without gloves on and without unzipping the jacket and letting out precious warmth, which I really like. And then it also has a Velcro adjustment on the back here, so that you can pull it up and out of your face, like that. The Paiyu does have a two-way zipper with a belay button, and so this is, you know, a quintessential belay parka without paying belay parka prices. Inside, there are two stretchy Lycra style stretch mesh dump pockets, which are really, really good. I like the fact that they are mesh because that enables your gloves or whatever you're putting in there to dry much faster, and also to, you know, any moisture that might be contained in those, whatever you're putting in there, it's going to drip out the bottom rather than just soak through into the down. The liner fabric is a little bit different than the face fabric. It's a little bit lighter denier. I think it's probably a 20 denier or something like that. What I can gather from this is it's going to breathe really well and you know, allow good air and moisture transfer to the outside of the parka. There is an internal zippered pocket as well in case you need to store something like GoPro batteries, maybe a Garmin, or anything that's going to need to be protected from the cold. This internal zippered pocket's really, you know, really key for that. And I think that's a feature that you should look on with any type of extreme cold weather parka that you might be buying. The Paiyu does come in men's and women's sizes and colors. I'm actually a huge fan of the women's colors. I wish they made this for the men's because I would absolutely buy it. And as far as sizing goes, it runs very true to size. I wear a size medium in most things, and the Paiyu really fits very true to size. You know, I'm wearing a mid layer, and the Paiyu fit quite nicely. But if you're going to be wearing any type of heavier mid layer or you know, maybe a shell also, I would size up. And so finally, just to round out the specs on this jacket, the Mountain Equipment Paiyu clocks in at 730 grams or 1 pound, 10 ounces. So it's not on the lightest end of the spectrum, but it's certainly not the heaviest. And for the warmth and value that you get for this jacket and the packability, it's very, very worth it. Next on the list is a synthetic belay parka, and this is the Mountain Equipment Citadel. This is the quintessential New England, Pacific Northwest synthetic belay parka that you want with you when you are going to belay and climb those dripping columns of water ice. This thing is going to keep you warm no matter how wet it gets. With a 30 denier face fabric and 120 grams of Primaloft Gold high loft insulation in the body, with an additional overlay of 80 grams per square meter Primaloft Gold in the shoulders and in the arms and in the hood, this thing's gonna keep you warm no matter how wet and cold it gets, and it's not gonna wet out like a down parka will. Again, the 30 denier Gore Windstopper face fabric is gonna be pretty much impenetrable when it comes to cold, wet, windy weather. So this is ideal for days where you are moving through, say, like Smuggler's Notch, or you know, maybe going up to the Black Dike or something like that. It is a synthetic belay parka, so it is not this is the absolute perfect parka to take with you when you are heading up to Smuggler's Notch or Lake Willoughby or pretty much anywhere around New England where you have moderate approaches, but you're spending a long time standing in the wet cold like we have here in New England. Clocking it at 820 grams or 1 pound, 13 ounces, this is not an ultralight parka. This is a heavy-duty synthetic belay parka that is going to be the absolute best insurance for you when you're out there exposed and in the wet and cold. So this isn't something that you're going to take to the summit of a big peak. This is definitely something that you're going to take with you time and time again to those tried and true routes or those project walls where you know the approach and you have predictability there. So let's get into the features a little bit. Again, 30 denier Gore windstopper face fabric, 120 grams of Primaloft Gold high loft insulation in the body, with an additional overlay of 80 grams on the shoulders, 80 grams of insulation in the hood and in the arms. And the construction of this jacket is pretty incredible. It has a super warm, cozy polyester octa yarn fabric in the pockets. So it's very similar. It's the same fabric that's on the switch, but it's in the pockets. And it is one of the most comfortable fabrics I have come across. You know, I have a octa yarn fleece that I use as a base layer because it's just that comfortable, and this is really nice on your hands for sure. The pockets on this jacket are enormous, so whether you have glove liners or your heavy-duty belay gloves or even mitts on, you're gonna have no problem getting your hands into these pockets. One additional benefit of having the octa yarn in those pockets is octa yarn moves moisture very well. It does not absorb it. And so if you're putting in a wet pair of gloves in there, your body heat is going to push that moisture to the outside of that pocket and just expel it out the jacket. And so that's a huge thoughtful technology that's in this jacket that I haven't seen it anywhere else. So octa yarn in the pockets, that's a huge plus, not only for comfort and warmth, but also for drying your gear. 2 massive chest pockets. I'd say you can probably fit a pair of climbing skins in here, but it's not really built to be a ski touring jacket, but you could use it for that. No matter what you need to store, this jacket's just gonna eat it up. So accessibility, storage, this jacket's really great for that. 2-way zipper with a belay button because it's a belay parka. It has actually kind of an offset flared zipper guard here, or baffle behind the zipper, and that enables you to use the belay button on there a little bit more readily and allows it to open up by your harness a little bit more. So that's just one of those little details that you don't think about until it's there, and you think, wow, that's brilliant. And that's something that's kind of become standard with mountain equipment. Opening up the parka, even more storage. We have huge mesh dump pockets here. And that's another standard thing with mountain equipment is thoughtful design for purpose-built garments, and that's exactly what we have here. So 2 giant dump pockets for multiple pairs of gloves, keeping a water bottle in there. It's great. You'll also notice very little stitching on the outside of this garment, and that's because of the continuous filament Primaloft Gold high loft insulation. You don't need stitching all throughout the garment, and so that really also helps with weatherproofing the garment. The Super Alpine HC hood provides enormous coverage. It does turn with your head fairly well, and it does have a drawstring hood adjustment on the back, as well as 2 additional hood adjustments on the inside here. And that's to really button things down when it starts getting nasty out. And subdued within the fabric of the garment are 2 pinch locks to release the side face adjustments here. And then an additional pinch lock that's housed in a little garage on the back. Pretty standard among hoods, but I would say that the fit and the comfort of the hood on this jacket is pretty supreme. Clocking in at $490, the Mountain Equipment Citadel is a specialty piece. It is the best in its class. With the thoughtful layout of the insulation and the Gore windstopper fabric, this is really peak performance when it comes to synthetic belay parkas in the market. You have your Patagonia DOS parka that clocks in a little bit cheaper, but there's a lot less warmth with the Patagonia. The mountain equipment is going to be supremely warm. You know, on the other end of the spectrum, you know, you have the Black Diamond Belay Parka that comes in at around $300, and you can get it for less than that on sale. But the packability of the mountain equipment Citadel here is far superior to the Black Diamond Belay Parka. And so this is a very, very competitive and intentionally designed piece that I think deserves a lot of attention. You're going to get far more warmth than you'll get with the Patagonia DOS Parka, and you're going to get far more packability than you will get with the Black Diamond Belay Parka. So this is really in the Goldilocks zone when it comes to a synthetic belay parka for the White Mountains of New Hampshire or Vermont or anywhere in the East Coast where it gets really, really cold in the mountains and you need something that's going to keep you dry and warm. When it comes to sizing for the mountain equipment Citadel, this again is a size medium, but it fits much looser. It's definitely, I would say, an expedition cut. It fits much looser and has a lot more room for layering than the Paiyu. And so again, this is a size medium. I am 5'7", 175 pounds. I have a 40-inch chest, 32-inch waist, and 22 inches pit to pit. I would say that a medium is the right size for me. Again, I fall within the medium spectrum most of the time. Sometimes I size up to a large with a lot of UK brands, but I would say that for the mountain equipment Citadel and the Paiyu, you know, they do fit fairly true to size. However, if you are on the fence between small and medium, I would consider sizing down with the Citadel here. With the Paiyu, I would say go with your size or size up if you want to layer. All right, so now for a very, very special piece here. This is the Mountain Equipment Kryos down jacket. This is a parka that breaks all the rules. Clocking in at 610 grams with 234 grams of 800 fill power down, this is a mountaineer's parka through and through. This is something that's going to disappear inside your pack and be ready for you when you need to take it out on the summit or at camp. This thing is so incredibly light, and I can tell you right now, I'm already burning up in here. You know, the last two jackets that I was wearing were very, very warm, but this thing is just a furnace. And that has to do with the Firestorm construction on this jacket. So it's fully down jacket, but you'll notice that you don't see any baffles on the outside. And that's because of the Firestorm construction here. On the outside, we have a Gore Windstopper 10 denier face fabric. And so this is going to be incredibly powerful in terms of blocking wind and precipitation, but also packability. So this is most certainly an ultralight mountaineering parka here. And a lot of that has to do with the face fabric, the Codex down 800 fill power down in here. There's 234 grams of down in here. That's about 8 ounces of down. And so this is going to be a go-to piece for you for just about any alpine or mountaineering mission that you'll be going on in the Whites in New Hampshire or the Alps, or you know, going out to Katahdin, the Chick-Chocks. You know, this is going to be very sufficient for just about all of those applications. It's also going to be really, really great for taking with you to go ice climbing in really cold conditions. The Firestorm Gore Windstopper construction is going to, with a DWR, is going to really ward off drips and snow and any kind of wetness, and keep that down dry and protected on the inside. But it's also going to allow this garment to breathe, which is critical in maintaining the effectiveness and the long-term warmth of a garment like this. So some very, very thoughtful and high-tech features of this garment are the baffle construction. So underneath the Firestorm construction and this Gore Windstopper face fabric are these pleated baffles. And there's a lot of tech and a lot of seam work going on in this garment. And to the folks actually making these things, hats off to you, because it is very, very fine craftsmanship. In this garment, you have a network and a matrix of different shaped contoured baffles that fit to your body. The stitching that's used in these baffles is elasticized, and so that enables this garment to fully loft even when you're wearing it. and contour to your body without creating pinch spots. It allows the differential cut between the outside face fabric and the inside liner to maintain that loft and maintain that barrier between you and the outside. One of the most prominent areas of this parka where that can be seen is in the arms and in the armpits. You have a intricate layout of baffles that are shaped and contoured to the human body. And so when I'm moving just, very small movements, I don't feel any resistance. I don't feel any excess material or fabric really pushing or working against me. It all works with you. So whether you are belaying and flaking rope or arms overhead, swinging ice tools, this thing works really, really well. Now, when it comes to the fit of this parka, this is where it gets a little different. And this is where, the UK heritage of mountain equipment really shines through. Is I size up to a size large with the mountain equipment Kryos. It is cut much slimmer than the Paiyu and much slimmer than the Citadel here, but that's totally fine. But it is really important to know, because if you're just shopping online and you think, oh, I'm a medium, I'll just buy a medium. Well, you're gonna end up with a garment that's a little too small. So what I would do is come into the gear dock, savagegear, come see Rich Page in North Conway, New Hampshire, and come try it on and find what fits best for you. If I were to be wearing a shell under this, I might even consider sizing up to an extra large, but I don't really think that would be necessary. If I wanted this to be my summitparka on Denali, maybe I would size up to an extra large so I can fit another down layer underneath. But one thing I make sure to do when I try on a down jacket is to wear it and leave it unzipped and see where the zippers lie on your chest. If they're too far apart and you try to zip it together, it's not gonna fit right. You're gonna be compressing the down and you're gonna lose effectiveness of the garment. So with a large, the garment or the zippers sit about an inch apart, and that's normal. Just that's about where you want it to be. If the zippers were to be touching or bowing outward, you'll know that's too large. So zipping it up, you don't want to feel like it's squeezing you. You want it to feel like it's floating on you. And so that's my guidance when it comes to buying and fitting a down jacket. So I digress. Mountain equipment Kryos is cut a little bit small, so I would size up with it. Another thing I really like about this jacket in particular is the neck baffle. It's small but really, really effective at sealing in the heat around your neck. Again, this is a 610 gram garment in a size medium with 234 grams of 800 fill power down, and the construction is just amazing. The Super Alpine HC hood with EXL lining is made to contour and conform to your body while maintaining that loft as well. So the same theme applies. You have that elasticized stitching within the hood, and that keeps the down from compressing when it's pulled tight over a helmet. That elastic thread and stitching is gonna stretch and allow the down to move and conform without just being squeezed and pinched. The Super Alpine hood is Mountain Equipment's most protective hood. So it's gonna provide the most coverage, the most conforming shape to your head and fit over a helmet nicely, but it really comes up very, very high. When it comes to the Citadel and the Paiyu, you have slightly different hood designs. The Paiyu has a Mountain HC hood. The Citadel also has the Super Alpine HC hood, but the Kryos takes it a step further with its EXL stitching and baffle construction. Talking about pockets, you have two hand warmer pockets on both sides. The down insulation is on the outside of the hand warmer pocket, so that's really, really nice for warming your hands or keeping whatever you put in there warm. The two Napoleon pockets on the chest here, external, These are both non-insulated on the outside, so you know, something like a map or something flat, or you know, a crystal card or protractor, you know, something simple. You know, that's what you're going to want to put on the outside there. This jacket does feature a belay button and a two-way zipper. It is a belay parka. I would say that the application for a piece like this is more of a summit parka because it's so packable. You know, I think it's really good for either you know, mountaineering objectives or multi-pitch climbing. I'd say that the Citadel, on the other hand, is really good for those project walls and crags and things like that, where weight doesn't matter as much. There are two internal dump pockets on this garment made of the same nylon ripstop fabric as the internal liner fabric, and they kind of overlap with the hand warmer pockets as well. And so I just think that that's a thoughtful and efficient use of fabric and materials. And you know, these are nice and deep, and you don't have to worry about losing anything when you put them in here. So talking a little bit more about the brilliant design features that Mountain Equipment employs on their garments and parkas is the hem adjustments. Most garments that you see have a loop here that you just pull. Mountain Equipment deems that to be a snag hazard. You know, if you're wearing a harness, which most people are when you're putting one of these on, having a loop on your jacket is just gonna get caught up in whatever's on your harness, carabiners, ice screws, tools, whatever. By having two separate pulls here, not only are you avoiding that snag hazard, but you're also able to adjust the front and the back hem on this garment independently. And also taking note of the awesome drop hem in the back that covers your butt. You know, this garment's really nice and warm, but you know, I just cinched it really nice and tight against my butt, but left it loose in the front so that it doesn't affect how the zipper lies. So it's nice and tight and sealing in all the warmth, but it's not pulling the zipper wide apart, you know? So that's just something that you won't find on a lot of other garments here. And that's why Mountain Equipment has been around for so long. How long has Mountain Equipment been around?
61.
Mountain Equipment has been around since 1961. The same can't be said about Mountain Hardwear or Arc'teryx or Feathered Friends, or, you know, these are the people. So now for the Mac Daddy of the Mountain Equipment Parka selection here at the Gear Dock, savagegear, here in North Conway, New Hampshire. This is the Mountain Equipment K7. This is a parka that you see listed on numerous guide websites for going up Denali. If you are hiring a guide service and they send you a gear list, more than likely you're gonna see this parka on there. And that's because this parka is at kind of that magic number of 300 grams of 800 fill power codex down. And that 300 gram mark is kind of the standard when it comes to high altitude mountaineering parkas and parkas for a cold place like Denali. This parka clocks in at 820 grams, so it's a 28 ounce parka with 300 grams of codex down. So this thing is extremely warm. This parka is also extremely well featured, which is incredibly important when it comes to a piece of gear that's going to keep you alive in a cold place, not just keep you warm, but keep you alive. And a place like 17 Camp on Denali, you need something that's going to keep you alive because it is cold up there. And the full features on this jacket are all built to do that. And so when you're selecting a parka for an expedition like Denali, weight is very important, but if you're omitting crucial features that are there to help you stay alive, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So this may not be the lightest parka in its class, but it is certainly an incredibly well-featured parka, and it clocks in much lighter than a lot of other parkas like the Eddie Bauer Peak 15 or the Feathered Friends Kumbu. This thing's really, really light for how much down is in it. The Mountain Equipment K7 features a 30 denier dry light face fabric, which is very, very burly, but also maintains a nice light weight to it. And so you have a very good blend of durability, and lightweight. So durability is also super important. On an expedition, your gear gets battered. You are there merely trying to stay alive. The 30 denier dry light face fabric of this garment is super, super durable while maintaining a nice light weight to it. With a garment like this that's meant to keep you alive on Denali, you want a garment that's gonna work with you, and you want a garment that you're not gonna have to baby and protect all the time. This garment's gonna work with you doing those hard camp chores, and also on summit day when you don't have the time or the capacity to worry about babying your down jacket. This thing is gonna be very durable and hold up to abrasion and hang in there with you when you really need it. Talking about the features a little bit, the hand warmer pockets on this jacket are absolutely colossal. I've never seen hand warmer pockets that are this big. This is a 48 ounce tall Nalgene, and the K7 hand warmer pockets absolutely swallow this thing. And that's what these pockets are for. You need to be able to access your water and keep it warm when you're up over 20,000 feet. And if you need to take a sip of water, but to do so you have to unzip your jacket and then reach in for your water bottle, that's poor design. This jacket is designed to allow you to access water and big summit mitts and whatever else you need to while wearing summit mitts. And it's just remarkable how much room is in these. There's an external zippered chest pocket with a little bit of insulation over the top, which is nice. Again, it's not huge, but it's definitely enough to keep, a multi-tool or something like that. Going to the inside of the jacket, you have two awesome dump pockets. One is made of a very burly mesh material, which is going to be great for holding gloves and drying them out. But it's going to be really durable for whatever you really need to put in there, and so I think that's a really cool feature. On the other side, you have a zippered internal pocket with a nice stretch mesh fabric, and inside is a stuff sack. This jacket is simply designed for big missions where you need specialized equipment that's going to work with you no matter the conditions. Talking about the sizing, this is a size large as well. So the K7, in addition to the Kryos, are both cut a little bit smaller. So I would highly recommend sizing up when it comes to purchasing your own. And again, come into the gear dock, savagegear, and come see Rich Page here in North Conway, New Hampshire to try these on before you buy them. It's really important to get the right fit. The cuffs are a nice, durable Velcro or hook and loop design, which is really important when you're working with different size gloves and you need to be able to adjust that. When it comes to the Kryos, you have elasticized cuffs, which are incredibly comfortable. But these are made for really being able to wear with glove liners and just really conform to what you might be wearing underneath, but to really seal the weather out. With an expedition parka, so this is a summit parka and a mountaineering parka. The K7 is an expedition parka, and with expedition parkas, you want a little bit more functionality and features. You can see that the drop hem goes down really, really low, well past my butt, almost to my mid-thighs, and that's hugely important to be able to keep your largest muscle groups warm and protected from the cold is really, really crucial. And over days and even weeks on the mountain or on the glacier, that is going to save you a lot in terms of calories, just warming your body. That's going to save you on, how much food and how many calories you're having to take in. Just that little feature right there. It's not the most measurable metric, but it is nonetheless an important feature. Adjustable hems, again, independent individual draw cords. There's no loops here for it to get stuck on a harness, and so you can adjust the front and the back independently. And the hood also features the EXL stitching design and the Super Alpine Storm hood. The hood here also has a stiffened brim. There is a lot of loft in this hood, and so that's going to accommodate for a helmet. There are two hood adjustments here on right down by the jaw, and there is no hood adjustment on the back, and that is because when you're tightening this down, it's going to compress the down. So that's why these hood adjustments in the front are here. So the Mountain Equipment K7 is really the Mac Daddy of expedition parkas. Mountain Equipment also makes a couple of even heavier weight parkas, like the Gasher Brum, which are just far and away, you know, those are like your Himalayan parkas. But the K7 is pretty much as good as it gets when it comes to doing anything here in North America. This thing will take you to the top of Denali in great style. The Mountain Equipment K7 comes in a men's and a women's version. I think the coloring on them both is great. I really like a high visibility color on an expedition garment. It really helps you and your buddies to be able to see each other on the glacier, as well as for rescue purposes. I think there's a lot of value in having a high visibility color. The Mountain Equipment K7 clocks in at $699. What you get for that $699 is absolutely unrivaled protection and effectiveness and thoughtful design. This is as good as it gets when it comes to an expedition parka. To summarize Mountain Equipment's line of belay and expedition parkas, the Mountain Equipment Paiyu is your high value, durable, all around, all mountain parka. That thing can go with you to the crag or to the summit, or in North Conway at 0 degrees. You're really just about anywhere. It packs down great, and it's incredibly affordable. The Mountain Equipment Citadel Belay Parka is a quintessential New England, wet weather, frigid cold belay parka that's going to keep you warm and dry no matter what conditions you're going to face. The Kryos Belay Parka is really the pinnacle of ultralight mountaineering down garments. The construction, the weatherproofing, and the baffle design is second to none, and this is really the pinnacle of an ultralight down garment for super cold summits. The Mountain Equipment K7 is the gold standard in expedition weight down parkas. You will see this listed on more guide gear lists than just about any other parka. This, you know, you might have heard of the Feathered Friends Kumbu or the Patagonia Grade 7. This is right up in that tier of absolute bomber winter polar protection. So I'm going to talk about the Mountain Equipment layering system here real quick. I'm wearing the G2 bib pants with the Eclipse grid fleece. Now this is designed to really be, you can wear this either as a base layer or as a mid layer. I'm wearing a merino wool shirt underneath as a base layer, and this thing is really, really neat because of the way the hood and zipper are designed. And just right off the bat, it is extremely breathable, very form-fitting. I'm wearing a size medium right now. I probably could size up to a large, but this fits very, very close to my body. But what I notice is I still have full articulation in my arms without feeling restricted at all. And the hood here and the zipper are really, really neat because of the offset zipper design and the scuba style hood that's made to fit underneath the helmet. But you can see that it provides really full face coverage without having the zipper get in the way of, you know, it's unobtrusive. The zipper is also a two-way zip, so if you need to vent for any reason, or you need to maybe access your avalanche beacon or something like that, you know, you have that option. Additionally, and you know, some grid fleeces don't have this, is a nice big mesh pocket in the chest. And this thing is definitely big enough to fit any size phone that is on the market today. And having a zippered pocket on your base layer or grid fleece is really important, because if you need to keep something warm, like gels or batteries or phone or something like that, keeping that close to your body is going to do that when it's under your layers, when it's below zero. The next layer in the mountain equipment layering system is the mountain equipment squall soft shell. This is a light to mid-weight soft shell garment. It features a hybrid style cuff here. It has elastic on the inside wrist side, and then it also has an additional hook and loop or Velcro style tightening system there, and that just provides additional articulation and a nice customized fit. Hood as well, same thing as on the Eclipse grid fleece base layer, is an offset style hood. So I'm going to zip both of these up and show just how much coverage and protection you get with this system. So this offset zipper design is just, you don't know how uncomfortable a zipper is until you try this and realize that there's no zipper on your chin, and then you realize what you've been missing out on. And not a lot of companies are doing this, but mountain equipment has been around since the 60s, and the Brits have been doing this for a while, and they know a thing or two about making an effective piece of outdoor gear. There's a zippered chest pocket as well on this outer garment. It's a little bit smaller, but it has some room to be able to stuff. There is a little webbing loop here, and that is so that you can stuff this shell, the soft shell, into its pocket and hang it off of a carabiner on your harness. There are also hood adjustments on this garment as well, and those tighten the hood up right down close to your face, with some pinch locks there as well. And then there's also a hood adjustment on the back to tighten it up to your helmet. So this is a size large in the squall soft shell, and this fits me very, very well. I would say that the Eclipse and the Squall both fit somewhat snug, but I really like the combination of wearing your normal size with the Eclipse underneath, and then sizing up one size with the Squall soft shell. Rounding out the system here is the mountain equipment Kryos summitparka. This is your climbing system right here, and it all works together very, very well. There is no restriction, full articulation, and supreme breathability with this system, and it's all very, very lightweight. There's a lot of competition in the industry right now for lightweight, breathable, waterproof, all that. Mountain Equipment's been doing this the longest, and they do it extremely well. So there's also a fleet of corresponding gloves and mittens within the Mountain Equipment line that work in conjunction with the rest of this layering system, and it's all built for success and fun and comfort in the mountains. And I am just very impressed with this layering system. I don't think there's many out there quite like it. Yeah, it's super impressive, and I think you should come down to the Gear Dock, Savagegear, come see Rich Page here in North Conway, New Hampshire, and try out this mountain equipment line. It is supreme. It is as good as it gets for mountaineering and alpinism and ice climbing, and even summer rock climbing for that matter. But come try it on. Ice Fest is coming up this weekend. Come grab some stuff from Rich Page here at the Gear Dock, Savage Gear. Mountain Equipment. If you haven't heard of them, come check them out.
All right, hey, it's Rich, Gear Dock, Savage Gear, selling mountain equipment. Come and see us at our store, 24 Reporter Court, North Conway Village. That's the good end of town. Our phone number is 603-662-4690. Find us on the web, savagemountaingear.com.
What's your Instagram?
Savage Mountain Gear. What's Instagram?
That's good enough.